Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of, I forgot to change, 641 for the 26th of November. So do check out, make sure that you do subscribe below, and also do subscribe on the main channel. I'm hemorrhaging subscribers over the main channel because people don't like what I say about Israel Palestine, actually particularly about Hamas, and it's okay, but truth is painful, but do understand, I'm always on your side. So let's start off with, as usual, we go the anti-clockwise direction from the southern front all the way to the Kupyansk Front. So if you don't like certain parts, do just check out the timestamp and just jump. So over at the southern front, we have some reports of an attack over at Tyahinka. So according to the Russian Defense Ministry, they mentioned that their units with the support of aviation and artillery attacked Ukrainian Marines over at Tyahinka. But the thing is about Tyahinka is that it's on the opposite side of the Dnipro River. And so usually when I see such a report, I will actually put this kind of icon, attack fighting icon, but somehow this one, yeah, it's a bit weird. I'm not sure how the units are involved in this sense. So there was this footage coming out where Lancet drones or something hit something over this location near Tyahinka. I'm not sure if that's the case. So we will continue to monitor and see what does that supposed to mean. Meanwhile, the Russians continue to be attacking near Krinky. They are still trying to push out the Ukrainian forces. According to the pro-Russian source, they reported that some of the Ukrainian forces are withdrawing out of this location, but not everyone. They are still holding the position in Krinky, and the situation in Krinky by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry simply mentioned that the Russians launched airstrike in the area of Krinky. So the Russians are launching airstrike. They're pushing in. Some of the Ukrainian forces have withdrawn, but don't take it as a as a given that this is the end of the Krinky episode, because there is always a possibility where the Ukrainian forces sent more forces into Krinky. Because Ukrainian forces can be very unpredictable in terms of their decision making. It does not always be very logical, at least not to me. Maybe I have a very non-Ukrainian kind of logic. So anyway, away from Krinky, there is northern, in the area of Kherson Oblast, there is Ukrainian Sukhoi 27 shot down over Novorossiysk, and there's another Sukhoi 27 shot down over Velika Oleksandrivka. And this Sukhoi 27s, if I didn't remember wrongly, is the one that they used to fire Storm Shadows and all these cruise missiles, and they flew in this direction, probably to fire at Crimean Peninsula. There is a possibility. I'm not sure. Maybe they might be doing airstrikes in support of Krinky. That could also be possible, but this is a bit far. And again, it is the Russian air defense claiming the success in taking down all these aircraft. Again, it does feels a lot like S-400s wreaking havoc. But of course, I have no idea. This is just my guesswork. And so this is pretty extremely concerning. If I'm Ukrainian, I'm pro-Ukrainian, this is extremely concerning, because to be honest, I can't even remember when's the last time a Russian aircraft got shot down. I can't even remember when. It was so long ago, and yet we constantly have these reports of Ukrainian aircraft getting shot down. This is extremely bad, like real bad, because the Ukrainians are already shot on aircraft. That's why they are asking for the F16s, but they are still losing aircraft at this rate. I don't even think they have enough pilots to replace the number of aircraft that they have lost over the past months or two. So let's see, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Ukrainians have more resources than how I imagine. Over at the Zaporizhzhia Front, this is the Zaporizhzhia Front. At the Zaporizhzhia Front, there's another aircraft that was shot down, part of the same report by the Russian Defense Ministry, which is a MiG-29. This is particularly interesting because the MiG-29 was shot down at Bertikaki. Petikaki is basically the front line. So I'm not sure why the MiG-29 was shot down over there. I wonder what's the purpose of this MiG-29 flying around this area here. Again, air defense shoot it down. I wonder if they use the MiG-29 on the airstrike, air support role. But there was no fighting being reported here as well. So this is actually very unusual in my opinion. Over at Orikhiv sector, so this is Orikhiv city, and this is the Orikhiv sector. At this sector, the Russians continue their assault over at the western part of Verbove and also Robotine. The Ukrainians are also launching their attack around in the region of Robotine. No more fighting is reported north of Novoprokopivka, but we do have geolocation of the previous day's action over this location by Kreminna Caprice. I believe the other one is by Military Summary. There's another by Kreminna Caprice. This is a bit more interesting because you have the Russian armored vehicle at this position firing at something over here, which actually shows that it is Ukrainian. So it's the Russian, wrong color, the Russian tank or armored vehicle firing at this position, which means the Ukrainians are here. So this actually corroborates our front line, and this front line has not really changed by much. And you can see that this one whole line of entrenchment, these two entrenchment is most probably now Ukrainian controlled, and then the Russians are holding the other one, and there's yet another long entrenchment over here before the Ukrainians can reach the town of Kopani. So this push is gonna take like forever, because they really have no way of breaking through just yet. The one fighting over the at the west of Verbove is reported by the Ukrainians. Not much information about it. There's nothing over at Huepole nor Velika Novosilka. So this is the first time in a long time we have nothing from this area here, and we move into the Donetsk Front. So this is the Donetsk Front, and this is Donetsk city. And over at the Donetsk Front, we have fighting reported at Shevchenko. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, the York group of forces reported that they have repelled the 72nd Mechanized Brigade. Near the Shevchenko, the Ukrainian forces is pushing very, very unusual move, because we haven't seen fighting or an Ukrainian assault in this area here since the 3rd of September. Which is since forever, it's basically a very, very long time ago. So the Ukrainians have not really tried this before for a long time. So we shall see, because even if you look at the previous times, it was only on the 29th of August, 29th of August, 3rd of September, and then that's it. It's very one-off-ish. So maybe this is going to be another very one-off-ish thingy. So over at the Novo-Mikhailivka region, Russian forces supposedly attacked. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, the same information for Marinka as well. The Russian Defense Ministry reported the Ukrainians attack at Marinka. So we shall see. There's nothing particularly special in terms of this front line around here. Over at the Avdiivka. So this is Avdiivka Front. At the Avdiivka Front, the Russian forces continue their Avdiivka offensive, with fighting reported south of Novokalinove, a geolocation of Russian forces just north of Stepove. Fighting reported at Stepove, at the coke plant. Over to the south, with the Ukrainians also launched a counterattack to push back to try to retake, or at least push back the Russian forces that have taken the industrial zone south of Avdiivka, and then also at Pervomaisky. The fighting along the Zheverny, north of Vodian region was not reported. Over at this, there is airstrike geolocated. The fat bomb, a very massive bomb, was recorded to have exploded at this location within the Kreminna. This is a Kreminna district, or the 9th district, over this location. Another geolocation of a thermobaric FPV drone, suicide drone, exploded in one of these houses over here in this very rustic, seemingly very romantic location south of Avdiivka. But I mean, before the war, this is not that romantic anymore. Geolocation also of Russian tank operating within the industrial zone. So the counterattack by the Ukrainian forces over at Avdiivka was reported by Ryba, the pro-Russian source, reporting that the Ukrainians tried to counterattack in the Yasinovata industrial zone. Basically, the Ukrainians tried to attack. I'm not sure exactly from which direction, and the Russians basically clearly hold the line, and the Ukrainians haven't been successful. I seen Surya maps mapping. I didn't map it in. The Russians seems to be pushing within the forest in this area here, but I'm not too sure where the information come from. Nowadays I don't map in Surya maps mapping, so we shall see how this goes. Maybe there will be something else to corroborate that. And think that's about it. Yeah, there's Ukrainian forces. I think this is Bradley. I'm not sure. That was geolocated at this location, attacking the Russian forces that is holding the forest line. So nothing very particularly special, except that the fact that there is no change in terms there is no clear change in terms of the front line despite all the reports of the Russian attacking. And then we have Ryba also reporting about some fighting near the coke plant. So this is the coke plant, nothing to do with Coca-Cola. This is actually another kind of coke. So that's it for the Avdiivka front. Again, we have another reports of fighting east of Novobakhmutivka. Again, I have no idea how to interpret this because my front line is really far away, unless the assumption that the Ukrainians have this front line in this way, which I'm really not sure. So I'm really not sure. I'm still putting this as a question mark for now. We move into the New York Front. After my criticism, or saying that the Ukrainians have given up this offensive at Pevdeny and Sumy, they are out to prove me wrong again. The Russian Defense Ministry reported that they repelled Ukrainian attack in the area of Sumy and Pevdeny. So this happened again. So we shall see how long this happened. This is gonna go. The last time they attacked at Sumy, the attempt was to actually head towards Mayorsk, which is over here, which is a very important transport junction. You can see that the roads split up into a Y shape. This way is going towards Bakhmut city. So this is actually a pretty important junction, which the Russians are very determined to hold. They spent a lot of troops capturing it previously, and they actually also spent a lot of troops defending it. So this is actually a very strategically important town. We move into Bakhmut Front. This is Bakhmut. In the southern part of Bakhmut Front, we continue the same situation as per the previous day, with the Russians making a serious push for Klishevka, Andriivka, and Kudyumivka. Geolocation of Ukrainian forces south of Andriivka. So the situation have not really changed much. The Russians are still attacking. Most likely is still grinding operation. It's not the kind of assault to capture ground just yet. And again, we also have the same report from the Russian Defense Ministry about their push towards Krasnoye or Ivanivsky. Basically, the Russians are pushing along the highway against the Ukrainian forces at Ivanivsky. This could actually be the same report from the previous day, because this is reported separately from the SITREP of the Russians. This is by the Yoke group of forces. They could be a replica of the same information. And again, we have the same information about Botanivka, which is why I say that this could be a duplicate. Same information, Russians attacking Rozdolivka and Vasylivka in the southern part of the Siversk Front. With this is also we have reported yesterday. I'm not sure if this is the same piece of information or if this is a continuation of the yesterday's reported activities. So we move into the Siversk Front proper. There's nothing to report around here, and we move into the Kreminna Front. This is Kreminna, and over the Kreminna Front, the Russian forces is pushing within Serebryansky Forestry as well as near Krychorivka. This is the first time that we have reported by the Russian Defense Ministry, the first time that they attack in the area of Krychorivka in a long time. Previously, the assumption was from the south, but that was a long time ago. So this time around, it looks like there is this push within the Serebryansky Forestry. However, the Russians also did report that the Ukrainians 12th Special Operation Brigade was launching an attack within the Siversk Forestry. So it's very, very confusing. The one that was at the Russian attack within the Siversk Forestry is reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, while the Russians say the Ukrainians are attacking. So pick your own poison. I don't think it makes any difference. They are just fighting, and they are just not effing each other, not fighting. No, start with the letter F. So they are effing each other. So yeah, and Svatove, we have one piece of information over the Svatove Front over at the Novoselivsky region. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported the Russians attack Novoselivsky. This is the first time in a long time again that we see a report of this. The previous time was in October 19 to 20th. That's when the last time the Russians attacked Novoselivsky. So now we see a repeat. Not sure what is this purpose. Maybe it's just a distraction, a diversionary attempt. And then we move into the Kupyansk Front. This is the Kupyansk and this is the Kupyansk Front. At the Kupyansk Front, the Russian offensive seems to have slowed down today, so rather the past 24 hours, with the Russians only being reported to be attacking over at Sinkivka. The push at Ivanivsky is not reported. This did not happen. Instead, we see a Ukrainian counterattack over at Ivanivska, and then we see the counterattack over at Sinkivka. There is a geolocation of Ukrainian forces by Kreminna Caprice over in the area of Peshok-Travneve, this position. So otherwise, yeah, this is the situation. The fighting over at Ivanivska and Sinkivka is reported by the Russian Defense Ministry, whereas the attack at Sinkivka is by the Ukrainians. So yeah, but it does feel like suddenly the Kupyansk offensive pacing has dropped by quite a bit. We shall continue to monitor. Maybe it's just a weekend thing, they want to celebrate the weekend. And yeah, so that's it. This is the summary for the day of 641 for the 26th of November. Do press the like button, subscribe, and of course do support me on the main channel as well. And I'll see you in the next update.